Today we have something a little different for you. Over the next several weeks, we will be showcasing our top 5 episodes of all time. Enjoy the episode and be sure to join us next week to hear the rest.
Hi, I'm Billy Gwaltney, and this is the CYA Podcast. This show is for the physician who understands the importance of protecting everything you've worked so hard to achieve. Each week, I'll bring you tips and advice to help you cut through the clutter and misinformation and show you exactly what you need to preserve your income and way of life. If you're ready to achieve the peace of mind that only financial security can bring, let's get started. Welcome to today's episode of the Cover Your Assets podcast. This is Billy Gwaltney, and I'm very happy to be with you today. The title of today's program is, What is the process for obtaining specialty disability coverage? And that's an excellent question, one that I get asked quite a bit. The first step is for any physician looking to get your own private coverage is identifying the right coverage and the best coverage for your situation. That involves a few things, I's you want to dot and T's you want to cross. The first thing is making sure that the true specialty own occupation definition of disability is present. And as discussed in previous podcasts, that means two things. One is you're disabled if you cannot perform your specialty. And two, there's no penalty for any income you later earn in a different occupation. You would also want to make sure that the long-term residual benefit, partial disability benefits are present. Long-term recovery benefit is present. The comprehensive presumptive benefit is included, as well as the future insurability option. And then you get into more personal decisions regarding whether or not you want the cost of living adjustment rider, if you would like to have a student loan repayment rider, perhaps a catastrophic benefit, which usually is not the case, but just if it is, that would be a detail you would want to clarify. You can do this through your own research, of course, online, talking to colleagues, listening to a podcast like this, contacting a broker, preferably a specialist, if you want to make sure that you're getting the expert feedback that you want, and make sure that the quotes you're getting are specific to your situation, that they include the maximum discounts. You can ask what those specific discounts are. Each company has their own discount program for residents and fellows. Some offer them for attendings as well, but definitely for residents and fellows. You would ideally, and it would be advisable to consider having a one-on-one conversation with a broker, again, preferably a specialist, just to be sure that you know what you think you know. It's one thing I've certainly had people kind of, as they ask me questions about particular terms, kind of give me their thoughts on what they thought it was initially, and they're completely wrong. It's just the words can be deceiving as far as what the definition actually entails. And so you would just want to make sure that those things are confirmed for you. And then once you kind of have narrowed down and decide which option you prefer, you'd want to proceed then to the streamlined medical underwriting. Again, the top companies do offer this streamlined approach where they waive the actual physical part, so you don't have to do the urinalysis or the blood profile, anything like that. Usually financial underwriting is not needed for residents and fellows. Again, you would want to confirm that just to be sure. But as mentioned, if you're working with one of the top few companies, then that would be the case. Usually the process for enrollment, the application process is electronic, can be done through secure, DocuSign links and e-applications, similar to how you might e-sign a mortgage application and those kind of things. Usually the medical underwriting can take anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks, or even 12 weeks possibly. It really depends on the situation. If medical records are necessary, if any follow-up questions are needing answered, and how responsive you as the client or the policyholder are to additional questions that are needed. A specialist is more likely to keep you posted on any of the time lags and perhaps see them coming ahead of time based on any medical situations that you might describe and ask for feedback. You can certainly ask for that feedback informally with your broker up front and to kind of say, hey, I've had this situation in the past. How would that impact things? I do want to add a note that in that scenario, it's wise not to assume that you can't get coverage. We've been able to get people coverage with significant medical histories. And again, it just depends on the situation. It depends on the company you're dealing with, the specific insurance carrier, the underwriter, and how the picture can be painted as to whether or not there's a solid opportunity to get coverage. But again, a specialist is more likely to know the lay of the land and how to navigate those kind of questions. And then, once approval is confirmed, you would review the policy. Again, that's sent to you electronically. You can do that ahead of time before you pay the premium or simultaneously with paying it. It is advisable to pay the premium as soon as you can once you're approved so that coverage actually becomes effective. We actually had a situation where a new client not too long ago was approved, wanted to review the policy, and was going to take a week or so to do that. And of course, it fell off his radar, and he lives down in Florida. And believe it or not, he got struck by lightning during a serious thunderstorm. And he brought that up when that kind of triggered him to revisit or follow through on his insurance and wanted to get that taken care of. And he said, hey, this situation happened. And it was very wise of him to inform us of that because that is something that the underwriter wanted to know. And they started the underwriting process over completely. And so he had a policy, was approved, had been through all the hard work to get there. And I say hard work, it wasn't all that labor intensive on his part, but all he had to do was pay the premium. And he wanted to wait and review it, which is certainly his prerogative. But there's a risk to do that. You just need to know that you're assuming the risk. The risk has not been transferred to the insurance carrier for your financial future until that initial premium is paid. So what I do, if it's me personally, when I buy my own insurance, I pay as soon as possible. And then if I want to revise anything after that, I can. This is not a mortgage where once you pay the initial premium, you're locked in for 30 years, no questions, no changes. You can modify it at any time, but it's always best to modify it while you're covered so that if on the way to reviewing it at the coffee shop and modify it, you're in a car accident, that you're actually going to get paid. And so those are details that, again, doing this all day, every day, I've seen just countless situations where quirks happen, the unexpected happens. And again, who thinks about getting struck by lightning? But it happens. And so we eventually did get him approved, but he was a little nervous that might not happen because of this freak incident. And so just word to the wise as you explore your options. And so, again, you would want to confirm the premium payment, the timing of that and the details of that it matches what you thought you were going to pay. Then you electronically sign for the policy. And again, the policy is delivered electronically. If you're working with a specialist like me and my firm, then you'll be connected with us throughout the life of the policy, throughout your career, wherever you go, anywhere in the country or the world for that matter. For address changes, for coverage increases or decreases at time of claim, we're as involved as our clients want us to be, and the vast majority of our clients want us very involved. They lean on us for everything. You can always deal directly with an insurance company. That's certainly your prerogative. But again, the point in having a broker that knows what they're doing is that they know what they're doing, and they can help navigate through adjustments or situations that you need help with. So again, get this done correct up front, and you'll never have to redo it or go through this process again. It can take several weeks, but again, your involvement, if you do it right, is very short on the front end and all electronic. As mentioned a number of times, if your plan A doesn't work out, you want to make sure that your plan B is the best that it can possibly be. And that's what we help people do. And that's if you do this correctly, then once you get your plan B in place, it'll be once forever, and you can feel good about it going forward. That's it for today. Please feel free to text me anytime to arrange a conversation or ask specific questions regarding your situation. My number is 704-270-2376. And again, that's 704-270-2376. I'd be happy to discuss your situation anytime. Until next time, this is Billy Gwaltney. Thank you, as always, for carving out a few minutes. I'm grateful for that. Take care.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.